It's time for another QDM with Ask a Daddy. A quick daddy moment. Now, first off, let me just say Happy New Year. 2015 was awesome, and here's to an even better 2016. Now, I know we're at the beginning of the year, and it seems like we have a ton of time, but I'm here to tell you that we really don't. So, I want to talk to you about how we can be intentional about making sure that we use this year to further strengthen the relationships that we have with our children. Now, if you're anything like me, then during the week is probably not the best time to get like real quality time with your kids. Sure, you bathe them and you feed them and, you guys talk and everything like that, but they have school, you have work, and, it's probably not the best time to get that real quality time. So, when do we have that time to spend with our kids? Well, the weekend. There are only 53 weekends in this year, and one of them is already gone. How will you spend the rest? Now, again, if you're anything like me, then some of those weekends you work. So some of those are already gone. Other weekends, you are just going to need time to chill. Straight up. You got work, you got kids, you got family, you know what I mean? You got responsibilities. Some weekends, you just going to want to kick back, put your feet up, watch the game, and just straight chill. And I understand. Other times, those weekends are going to be used for your significant other, right? So you and your wife, your girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? Y'all going to want to kind of kick it, get away, chill out a little bit, So a couple of weekends, already gone. And then, let's not forget the unexpected. Some weekends, you just might not feel well. You might be sick as a dog. So, there go a few more weekends. Gone. So when we really sit back and ask ourselves, how much time do I spend with my kids over the weekend? Again, your answers may vary, but if you really, really think about it, you might realize it's not as much time as maybe you thought initially. Now the question is, well, dang, Ask a Daddy, what should I do? Well, I'm glad you asked me that question. I created an Ask a Daddy calendar check. On that calendar check, it breaks down each month of the year, and it shows how many weekends are in each month of the year. I went on, I said, you know what? On a realistic level, how many weekends can we as parents really truly try to commit to doing something with our children that will leave a lasting memory? And I said, well, maybe like 2 times a month, right? Maybe twice a month. I think that's pretty good. The idea of this calendar check is to have you put an X through the weekends where you don't spend time with your kids doing something that will create a lasting memory. And then to put a circle around those times that you do something with your children that will create lasting memories. Now, before I go any further, let me explain what I mean by a lasting memory. I'm not talking about spending an arm and a leg, going to an amusement park, or anything like that. I'm talking about just spending quality time with your kids, doing things that they like, right? And doing things that may expose them to something new. These things can be free. Now, back to the 2 times a month. When you break down 2 times a month, that really equals up, 24 times. That's 24 times a year that you can really spend quality time with your children, making a lasting memory. Well, what if you have more than one child? The truth is, if you have more than one child, then actually it becomes, I don't want to say a little more difficult, but it becomes that much more important that you really take advantage of each opportunity that you have. Because I suggest that you spend time with your children together, but you also make time to spend time with your kids when they are not together. I have a friend he's a funny guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a funny guy. I'm pretty funny myself. However, whenever I'm around this particular friend, I don't crack no jokes. Why is that? Well, that's because he's so funny, and he cracks a lot of jokes that if I crack jokes too, right, it's just too much going on. I can never be serious. So I don't really crack jokes when I'm around this particular individual. Now, if the only time that people got a chance to experience us was together, then they would assume that Brian isn't really that funny of a guy, or he doesn't really have jokes. and that this other individual is just like, Dave Chappelle or somebody. Dave Chappelle's my favorite comedian, by the way. But anyway, yeah. So I encourage you to spend time with your children when they're not around each other, because then you can get to see their personalities when they interact together, and then when they're by themselves and how they interact. They could be two totally different people. So in closing, let me just say this. Be intentional about making time to spend with your children. And remember, being a daddy ain't easy, but it is awesome.